Hello, ladies and gentle ladies. We are live again. And this time we are not live on Twitch because I figured Twitch is just jank. And we only seem to get spammers from Twitch. So we're not going to go live on Twitch, at least for the foreseeable future. But yes, we're going to be doing Industria again today. Chat isn't going to show up for a little while until the bot joins again, so that'll take a hot minute, but I think we can basically just get started. Hello Mickey, welcome to the stream. So there is me, and bye-bye to that, and I forgot to put this on this monitor again. So, what did we do last time? Well, last time we worked on the drill, and basically we actually just rewrote the code I already had, didn't we? And what I have done since then is I have actually also added an Industria command for the config, and you can reload, and I thought you could save. I actually did that wrong, apparently. Save is inside reload. That's not how it's meant to be, but that was just reload the config. Which is good, so that should work. We don't actually have anything in the config, so it won't work, but okay. So right off the bat, I think what we're actually going to do today is we are going to work on the drill again, but this time we're going to add a button that will allow us to switch between the different modes. So if you remember last time, if we come into the block entity, we created this enum down here, which is the overflow method. So we have void, pause, and spillage. So I think I've implemented these correctly. Hopefully, that's the idea. So hopefully these work. Hello, Lancer Development Studios. Welcome to the stream. And I think I basically want to just add a toggle in the GUI for this, which hopefully will be easy. I'm hoping. That might be famous last words. But we'll give it a go. Hello, DeWill. Welcome to the stream. I think we're going to try that. So my idea is that basically, so this is the GUI. I think you can see it. Yes, you can. My idea is basically we have a button that when you hover over it, it will bring up like a tooltip kind of thing, and you switch between the 3 different modes. That's kind of the idea I'm going to be going for. Either that or just a toggle. It could just be a toggle, like a button that you click on and switch between them. I'm not sure necessarily which is better, but I kind of want to give a go. Just when you hover over it, you can switch between the different ones. I think that's what we're going to go for. So yeah, we're going to get started with that. So we're actually just going to go ahead and I think close this class, close the game, I mean. I suppose let's go into the screen class first. Okay. And I guess we're going to try and add a button for this. So I think it is just going to be a button. I don't know why it would need to be anything different. But it's going to want to be an image button. So we're not going to be able to use button widget. We're going to want to use the image button class, whatever that's called. So let's create a new package, and I'm just going to call this widget. And then I'm going to create a new class, which I'm going to call overflow mode button. Okay, and I'm just going to extend the, I don't remember what it's called, but I think it's like a textured button widget. That's it. And we want a constructor. Which one should we go for? So X, Y, width, height, textures. See this, we have to actually supply the different textures. Maybe I should just implement this myself. That might be a better idea. Good morning to you too. It's not morning for me, it's 7 PM, but good morning to you. My day is going okay. I haven't really done much today, to be honest, which is, I guess not unusual. That is how most of my days go. But yeah, it's been alright, I suppose. And yeah, I'm not going to extend the textured button. Should I do that? So let's see what this actually does. So it just says textures.get is narratable and is selected. So what is a button text? It's a record. Okay, so basically the problem with doing a record is it's going to have 3 different textures, right? It's going to have a texture for paused, a texture for void, and a texture for the other one, which is, what's the other one? I don't remember. The other one is it spillage? I think is the other one. Yeah, spillage. So we're going to have 3 different textures, and then for each of those we're going to have a disabled texture, an enabled focus texture, and a disabled focus texture. So basically we're going to have 12 different textures. So we can't really use a button texture. That's not going to work. So let's not extend textured button widget. Shall we just extend button widget? I suppose so. I think that will be fine. Okay. Another thing I would like to do at some point is, so if you see the actual drill here, and I was talking about this with someone on Discord, you kind of see how the bounding box is just like a solid block. I would quite like to have it so it's an actual bounding box. And basically, I think I'm going to have to write a custom system to... I did it for something. Yes, I did kind of a custom bounding box for this. So basically like this, but also it will allow for the rotated parts to have kind of a selection as well. Currently they don't for this one. This one obviously doesn't have one and have one. So we're going to have to look into that at some point. Maybe during this stream, probably not, to be honest. How can you get your status effects duration? You mean like... What do you mean? Like, do you mean if you have a status effect, which I'm assuming that's what it is actually called? It is. Do you mean like, get it like that? Like from this effect? So like effect dot get duration or whatever? Or do you mean... Let's just do something here. You mean that you have like a player, right? And then you want to get the duration from the player? Like player get status effects, something like this? I assume that's what you mean? Because if so, you can probably just... I assume get it from the instance? status effect instance dot get duration. So you can get it from that. I assume that's what you mean. Anyways, let's do this. And I'm just going to say text dot empty for the message. What does the super want? It wants a press action and a narration. That's rather cringe. Let's just give it the default narration. Is the final parameter. And then on press, I'm actually just going to implement in here because I don't see a reason not to. And let's say this on create a, yeah, sure, something like that. Can we not do that? We can't do that because, right. That's not annoying at all. I guess we could do that. That's also very annoying, but sure. Can I do that? Wow, that's very cringe. Okay, good to know. How's the mod going? The mod is going okay. I'm actually going to close the game now, though. Because I don't think we really need it open. Okay, this should be quite simple, I think, at least for the logic here. So what we're going to want to have is we're going to want to actually have a reference to the drill block entity, first of all. So let's do that. Let's say drill block entity, which is the block entity. And I'm just going to make that, oops, accessible as a field. Drill block entity, block entity. Sure, that will work. Something like that. In here, I'm actually just going to do an instance of check so that I can not deal with this. I'm going to call that the widget. And I'm going to say if the widget is instance of this. And then by doing that, I can also then cast it. And I'll actually invert this so I can just return if it's not. That will be useful. This is not what we want, Copilot. So we're actually going to want to send a packet to the client here. So something like client play networking dot send, and we're going to send a new change drill overflow mode payload. Sure. And we're going to change it to whatever one was clicked, I guess. That's actually going to be an interesting thing to do, I suppose. Because the way I want it is that you hover over this button and then it shows you 3 other buttons. So technically nothing should happen when you press, well, I guess you could have it so it toggles when you press this button. Sure. So we'll do that. So we'll actually say button.blockEntity. We don't have a method to get the mode, do we? Let's create that. Yes, why? There is indeed another stream. Because I promised it yesterday. Which maybe wasn't the best idea. Making a promise like that, but hey, it's happened, so we're doing it. And we'll do that. Because then what we can do is we can say button.blockEntity and basically get the next overflow method. So what I can do is something like .next. And I can actually create that method in, yes, in here. So a public overflow method next. And sure, that's not how I was going to do it. I was just going to return values. Yeah, I was going to do that. But to be honest, well, it doesn't really matter, I guess, to be honest. So I'm going to do it this way. And the reason is because then if I do ever decide to add more values, I don't have to, like, hard code that. I guess also I should add a previous, because maybe if you, like, shift click it, it should go to the previous one. I don't know how you determine that. I guess if Minecraft, I'm assuming this is a thing, so if I say if Minecraft client dot instance hello, how do you, there you go. And then can you just check is shift or input or keyboard shift key? How do you check if the shift key is? Do I have to use the player and then say if the player is sneaking? But surely that won't work in a GUI. Or do you have to use that input class? I actually don't know what it's called. Input this class? This one? No, not that one. Oh, it's in the screen class? Screen. Oh, it is. I didn't know that. So, okay, if the shift is down, then we're going to get the previous one. So let's do this, actually. Let's get the overflow method. Overflow method. Overflow method, like that. And then what we'll do is we will set the overflow method to be something else. So we'll say overflow method is going to be equal to overflow method.previous. Else it will be equal to the next one. And then what we'll do is we'll actually set that. So we'll set the overflow method, which I guess I have to actually do in here. Okay. And then, you know what? I will get rid of that completely and I'll just handle it in here. I'm going to do client play networking. Oh, I can't do client play networking. So never mind, that's not going to work. Hello, Ilya. Welcome to the stream. I don't think I'm your favorite streamer, but I appreciate the compliment. But yeah, doing okay. Assuming this all works. Otherwise, I'll be very upset. So we're gonna send a what did I call it? I literally just called it something, and I already forgot what I called it. Change, or should I say set? Or sure, change. Change is fine. Drill overflow mode payload, and we'll do that. I don't think I need to send the position because we can get the menu from the current player, so that'll be fine. That won't be a problem. So let's actually do that real quick. Go into network here, create a new class, going to implement custom payload, and this is going to be a record which is going to take in the overflow method, which is the overflow method. And then we're going to create a public static final ID of type change your overflow payload method, which is the ID, which is going to equal to a new ID of industrial ID. That, yes. I don't think it needs that. It doesn't. And it also, I think, needs get ID. Yes, it does. That, and then we also need a codec. So we're going to want a, is it a packet codec? I think it's a packet codec. So we'll say packet codec, and we'll pass in a byte buff, and then we'll say the change drill overflow payload method. This is codec, which is a packet codec, and we'll use the tuple one, I believe. That's not a thing. Copilot is actually kind of going insane. I don't know if there is one for any. Probably not. So what we will do is do packet codecs.string, and then I think we can XMAP it, I think. Yes, like that, basically. Then we do change drill, that one, and then change colon new, I believe. Yes, that is correct. Lovely. I don't watch any other streamers, so that makes you my favorite. I guess so. I'm not entirely sure that's how favorite work. Well, I guess so. But if I'm the only streamer you watch and you hate me, then I'm not your favorite streamer, right? Hypothetically, of course. Or would I still be your favorite streamer? That is a good question. Life's biggest questions. And yes, I agree. This ID function it's ingenious, really. It saves a lot of, well, it doesn't really save much, to be honest, but, well, I guess it does. It saves, like, that. So, it's handy, though. It is handy, I agree. How do we register packets? We register packets here. So, payload type registry. We're going to do client to server, and we're going to register the, yeah, that one. And I do need a receiver as well. You know, the one thing I hate about Fabric is this. This is kind of how you do packets. You have to, like, handle them like this. I kind of hate it. I guess what I could do is I could, in the payload, actually just have, like, a register method. And what this could do, hypothetically, is it could do this. I'm lost. Okay. This also should probably be static as well. So it could do this, and it could then also do server play networking dot register ID like that, I guess. And if I did that, then these could also be private because they don't need to be accessed outside of here. I guess I could do that, to be honest. That's actually not a terrible idea. But I also don't really want to go ahead and refactor a bunch of code right now. So I'm not going to do that. Maybe in between this stream and the next one, I will refactor that, because that's actually not a terrible idea. I don't think. And yes, Temedy, you can definitely not make a mod in Rust. Well, I guess you theoretically could, if you wrote like a Rust bytecode transpiler. But why you would ever do that, I don't know. That would be very scary. So let's go server play networking dot register global receiver, and then we're going to do a change this, sure, and that. Basically that. Yes, that's that's exactly correct. Thank you, Copilot. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess you could make a wrapper for it. I'm not sure it's really worth it, though. Like, you're kind of defeating the entire point of using Rust. But hey, if you're that much of a fanboy, then go for it. That's it, right? Am I missing something? Oh, right. I should obviously do that. Duh. And then I kind of need a texture too. So I'm just gonna override render. What does the super do? So this just draws it. I'm probably gonna do that too. So this will kind of just draw the default texture, right? It will either draw the normal one, the highlighted one, or the disabled one, or the focused one. So I do want that. I don't technically need it to draw the message, so that would be a bit of a waste of a render call by still doing that. I only need this. So to be honest, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this. And I'm going to paste it. Oh, I failed to copy that somehow. I don't know how I failed to copy. I'm just going to copy that and I'm going to put it in here. What? Bro? I kid you not, I am pressing Control C and it's not working. Okay, it worked that time. That was weird. Maybe my things are not working anymore. Oh, it's private. Lovely. Love it when it's private. Shall I just do an access widener? Or shall I just... That's really annoying. Why is it private? It's probably protected in you know, their source code, but I guess it's just gone down on access. What's your opinion on MC Creator? I hate it with a passion, and I would highly discourage anyone to ever use it. I think it has its place in the single circumstance that you are very young, right? Like, and I'm talking like very young, maybe like 7. Then if you're like 7, then sure. Anywhere between, okay, anywhere between 0 and maybe 11, I think it would be reasonable, because at that stage you're not going to be able to learn programming. It's just not viable. You know, if you're 0, I would be very concerned. You're not really going to be able to do much in MC Creator either. But you'd obviously have a little more chance with MC Creator than Java. Yeah, we did used to have an no MC Creator emoji. I don't know if we still have it. Honestly. Whoa, we have an MC Creator emoji without the cross through it? I don't believe this. This is disgraceful. That's not good. Okay. We should... I will fix that after this stream. I don't know why we have it without the cross through it. Are you using 1.21 parchment mappings? No, I am using Yarn. because this is Fabric. And in Fabric, the majority of people use Yarn. So I'm not going to stray away from that. There's no reason to be honest. I'm just going to be lazy, and I'm just going to AW this. Or access widen it. So let's do that. Who dare be messaging me? Ah, lovely. My device has great new features. Thank you, Google. I don't care. So let's do that, and then let's reload. And hopefully that should make that public. We don't really need it to be public. It could just be protected. And to be honest, I could probably just use an accessor for it instead. But I'm not going to do that. That has worked. Lovely. The one caveat is obviously every time you do that, you have to then regen the sources, which is really annoying. Like if I go into here, we now don't have the sources. It's very annoying. It annoys me every single time because then I have to gen the sources, which takes forever. I will just let that do that. That might actually, I probably shouldn't use Vineflower because that might kill the stream. Hopefully it's fine. Because Vineflower kind of maxes out your CPU. So, probably not the best thing to do whilst I'm streaming, but obviously, hopefully, streaming is mostly GPU, not. So, but yeah, that's worked, and hopefully it hasn't worked because you have to then go ahead and invalidate the caches because IntelliJ moment. So we'll do that real quick. Come on. I need a new CPU ASAP. At some point I will get a new CPU because it takes forever. Although this could just be IntelliJ being very slow. That's quite likely. And I'm also impatient as well. Okay, well, whilst that's doing that, what we can go ahead and do is we can make sure that actually works. So did we call update after we did that? Yes, we did. Thank you, Copilot. Good job it did that because I didn't. And this is fine. That just sets that. What we should do, yes, I already did that. Okay, lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So that will send the packet. Now what we want to do is when this widget is hovered, we want to add basically 3 new widgets below it. I'm not sure how to do that though. And I'm also not sure in the render method. Let's check this actually. I don't know if the render method will actually use the mouse X and mouse Y if the mouse is not over the widget, if you know what I mean. Should we try it? So if I say, is mouse over? No, I don't want to say is mouse over. Mouse over. Is there a method in the screen class for this? There is not. I thought there was, but I guess I'm just going insane. Kind of what I want to do is I want to say if the mouse X... Is there really not a method to check if the mouse is within a bounds? I thought there was. I'm sure there is. Let's go... Where would I have done this? Probably in the thermal generator. Yes, this method. This is what I was looking for. Oh, it's actually protected inside the screen class. Well, that's quite cringe. Okay. Sure. I guess that kind of makes sense. Is this right? I'm not going to try and read that in YouTube chat because that's hard to read. And why is it all in one line? That's not nice. Possibly. Let's do this real quick. If I do player. Oh no, definitely not. Why did you do this? This is definitely not right. Or wait, it depends. What is this? It depends what this is, but probably not. So what you need to do is say, because you need a registry entry. So if you say, how do you get a registry entry again? I've actually completely forgot. You can do of, but I don't think you're meant to do of. I think you're meant to have a registry lookup. Yes, which you can get from the world. So if you have a world, right, we actually do have the player here. So we can say player world, I think, dot registry. Is it the registry manager? Create registry lookup. Maybe. I don't think you're meant to use that, but maybe. And then I think you can do registry lookup dot get. Sure, get off row. No, get optional. Oh, no, that gives a registry entry lookup. There is a way to do this. I'm honestly not sure off the top of my head. I would have to look into it. If you are in the Discord, yeah, make a thread in the Discord and I will get back to you on that because I'm not going to be able to figure that out right now. It shouldn't be too hard, but I will let you know if you're casting something, you're probably not doing it right. That is kind of usually the case, somewhat. Do you know any resources to learn and understand modding? Not really. I would recommend the wiki if you're on Fabric. So if you're on Fabric, you have the wiki, and you also have the docs. The docs are kind of just a better looking wiki, and they're not kind of as full as the wiki here. Not yet, because they're newer, so they haven't been completely written yet. If you're on NeoForge, then you have the NeoForge wiki, or NeoForge docs, apparently. This one, you have this one, and if you're on Forge for some very bizarre reason, then you have the Forge docs, which apparently I can't. Yes, there you go. You have these docs, or you have, if it loads, the community wiki. So those are kind of your options. If you're on Quilt, then I don't know why you're here, and you're weird, but yeah. And obviously tutorials, I guess. That's kind of it. I guess if you know what you're doing, and only if you know what you're doing, because otherwise you're not going to be able to do this, is you can look at other mods on GitHub. Just note that, like, for example, and I'll give you a quick example here. This is the example I always love to give. If I go to, like, the Mechanism GitHub, right? And let's say I go, I mean, instantly you're overwhelmed here. Where do I go? I think it's main Java. Like, for example, Mechanism is not a good resource because it's so incredibly abstracted. say for example, I want to find the crasher, right? So we'll go block, instantly, what the hell? Where is it? I think it's in basic? Nope, apparently it's not in basic. Prefab? Nope. States? Nope. I actually don't even know, honestly, where the crusher is. I actually have no idea, like genuinely. I assumed it would be in block, but apparently it's not. Is it in base? Oh. Okay, now we've got to find this. Come on, guys, we've got to find the crasher. Where is the crasher? Tile? Okay, I want to find the block class specifically. That's all I want to find right now. I don't know. I mean, we can search for it, of course. If I search crasher block, it still doesn't come up. That's how insanely, like, abstracted something like Mekanism is, right? I wouldn't recommend this as a resource, ever. Ever. Just don't ever look at a big mod like this. It won't help you. You can look at, like, smaller mods, so think of something like, I didn't search this up in here. I will find it first. Just in case, you never know. Something like the pipes mod, right, which is a much smaller mod, then fine. Because if you go into here, I mean, even this is quite complicated because the mod is a little more extensive than it used to be. But you can come into something like this and boom, you've got a pipe. Energy pipe, boom, you see it extends pipe block, which is here. And it's somewhat readable because all the properties are here. There's no crazy abstraction in something like a pipe mod compared to, you know, Mekanism or immersive engineering or thermal. Thermal's close to source anyway, so that's a no-go. So you can look at things like that if you know what you're doing. The other option, and kind of the thing I do, is vanilla, right? For example, if I want to look at, like, I don't know, say I want to know how to render a book or just some kind of model on my block entity, right? I might go to the enchant go classes, and let's go, yeah, all places, sure. The enchantment table, it's the enchanting table? It is the enchanting table. Lovely. But you might go to, not that one. The renderer is what I meant. And you'll see, it just renders a book model, right? It's a pretty good resource because it tells you straight away how you do it. So, okay, what is a book model? Well, it's just a class that extends model. So that's how you would create your model, right? And how do you render it? Well, you see in here, it just calls render book. What does render book do? It just calls root.render. What is root? It's just a model path, right? I would say vanilla is your best resource for basically anything you want to do. The chances are that vanilla does it, right? Like something like this, right? Where I'm creating a button that when you hover over it, it shows something else. What you could look at for this, I guess, is like tooltips. Would be the best way to do that. I'm not going to do that because I kind of know what I'm doing. But yeah, that's what I would recommend. I'm going to say here, is mouse over? Yes, however, okay, this is actually going to be kind of tricky to do because what I want is that, okay, let's go paint. We're going to go paint. Let me bring up paint. Okay, you guys got to be ready for my amazing diagram. So, first of all, first things first, let's make this black so that we can actually see. Because I know you guys can't see if it's not dark. So we'll go black, sure. And we'll create this. So let's call this our GUI, right? Okay, this is our GUI here. And then let's say we have our button, right? So our button will maybe be this color. It doesn't really matter. Sure, that's our button, right? Now, what I want is when the mouse is on this button, or when it's like over this button, what I want it to do is show down here, like, okay. I didn't mean to make it look like this, but bear with me for it. What I wanted to show is like this. And basically you'll have 3 options, but I don't really know how to make this show as 3 options. Sure, like that. I know they're not even. It doesn't matter. It's just a paint drawing, okay? So we kind of have the first option, the first option, the second option, and the third option, right? So when you hover over this button here, what I want it to do is show these 3 buttons here. And then when you hover over one of these buttons, it will still keep this open. So what we should do. Okay, first of all, let's check if we're actually hovering over this button. That'd be a good start. So, I don't know if there is actually just a hover method. There is. Okay. So if we say if is hovered, or the mouse is going to be over kind of like this area here. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to say I'm going to create a method to do this. So I'm going to say is mouse over the selection area. I don't really know what to call the selection area, so I'm just going to call it selection area, which I know is a terrible name realistically. And I'm going to say int mouse x and int mouse y. I'm going to get rid of Copilot for a second because I don't think it's actually going to help me here because it doesn't know what I want to do, right? So what we're going to say is if the mouse y is greater than this dot y, I assume we can access this dot y. We cannot access this dot y. Okay, if it's greater than get y, oh, we can actually just do get bottom. Does that actually do? It does. That's actually somewhat handy. Silly, but handy. So if it's greater than the bottom, and the mouse y is going to be less than the bottom plus, we'll make it the same height as this. So I'm going to say plus get height. Basically what that's going to say is it's basically going to say, are we in like this kind of area here, right? Actually here. Okay. Then we need to do the X. So we're going to go left by the width. So we're going to say, and the mouse X is greater than the get x negative get width, and the mouse x is less than get right plus get width. And I'm actually going to put this the other way around because the x before the y just makes more sense realistically. So we'll do, that's a little bit easier to read. And I'm actually just going to return that because there you go. And we can get rid of the brackets because we don't need the bracket. So I'm going to say if it's hovered, right? So if basically we're over this button here, or we're over any of this area here, then what we're going to do is we're actually just going to render these buttons here. So let's do that real quick. We're going to say mouse X, mouse Y. And then we're going to say to draw the 3 buttons. So we will go overflow method dot values, right, which is actually just going to get the overflow method values. Honestly, we should make that a constant in here, just so we're saving that. In fact, even more so, let's make that a constant in this actual enum. So I'm going to go public static final, and this is going to be an overflow method, which is the overflow method array, which is the values, which is equal to the values method. And that just means we don't have to call that values method every single time, because this values method here, you actually probably can't go into the but it does actually do more than just return a constant correctly. Does it not? I guess we can't actually see the implementation of it, but either way, we're going to cache this basically. And what we're going to say is we're going to say overflow method dot values dot for each value. So let's say for I, which is the index, or we should really call this, I guess, ordinal, but it's an enum, right? So we use ordinals. We're going to start at the basically this position up here, and we're going to render 1, then we're going to move along by the width, we're going to render 2, we're going to move along by the width, render. So let's first actually grab the, because basically I want this to be somewhat dynamic, so if I add more values it will still work. So this is actually going to be kind of complicated, and I'm probably way overcomplicated. In fact, for now I'm not going to add it so it's like dynamic. Let's just do less than 3, okay? Because there's no reason to overcomplicate this right now, and I always have a habit of overcomplicating everything, so I'm gonna not do that. So what we're going to do is context dot raw GUI texture, and we are actually going to need a texture for this. Let's do that. Let's create a private static final, and I'm going to call this an identifier array, which is going to be the actual button textures. So I'm going to call this button. What am I doing? What am I doing? No. Button texture. Like that, I guess. And we'll set that equal to a new identifier array. We're going to say industria.id. We're going to say textures GUI. How do we want to do that? Where do we want to actually have these? Should we do GUI container and then the thing, or shall I do GUI widget like that? Or shall I just do like the actual name of the texture straight after GUI? I think I'm going to do widget. I'm going to say GUI widget. Then I'm going to say the first one. So let's go to here. No, not that. Where's this? There you go. So we start at void, then pause, then spin. So I'm going to say GUI widget. I'm going to say overflow underscore pause dot png. Okay. And then I'm going to say Industria. Put these on a new line. Like this. And then we'll say Industria.id. And we will go textures, GUI, widget, overflow. Oh, actually void was the first one, wasn't it? So we'll do void first. Then we'll go pause. And then we'll go textures, GUI, widget, overflow underscore. What's the last one? Village. Okay. Yeah, a map could be good. Actually, yes, we can do this. We can make a map. So this is a good idea, actually. So we'll go private static map, right, of overflow mode button. No, an overflow mode. What's it called? Overflow method. Okay, overflow method. So this would probably be an overflow method button. Whatever, sure. Overflow method to an identifier, which will be the button textures. And that'll be equal to a new hash map. And then what I will do is in the static, I'm going to say overflow method dot values dot for. So for kind of that. I'm going to say button textures dot put overflow method industria dot id, and we're going to say textures UI widget overflow underscore, and then I'm going to say plus overflow method dot name. We can use the serialized name actually. Plus dot png. So what that will do is that will automatically go ahead and actually create basically this for each of the things. So then what I can say is in here, and you know what, I'm gonna do it the way I probably shouldn't do it, and that is to not hard code it. So I'm going to say overflow method dot values dot length ordinal plus. Okay, and then I'm going to grab the actual row and column in here. So I'm going to say int row is going to be ordinal modulus free, right? And then int column. Wait, is that the wrong way around? Is the row... No, the row is going to be divided by 4. And then the column is ordinal modulus. So then what we can do is we can say context dot draw GUI texture, and then we're going to say button textures dot get, and we're going to pass in the current one, which is going to be overflow method dot values at the specific ordinal that we're at, right? So that'll be the texture. Then it wants what? Then it wants the X and the Y position. So the X position, so what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to say int start X will be equal to this dot X, or get X negative get width, and then the start Y is going to be get height. No, get bottom. That's it. Probably +1 actually. Should it be +1? I guess so, because we're not actually starting at. Well, we'll leave it like that for now, and we'll see what happens. So that'll be fine. So then we're going to draw it at the start X plus the width. So basically the width of the button, which is going to be get width times the column. And then the Y position is going to be the start Y plus the height, which is just going to be the same height, times the row. And then it also wants the width and height, which is just going to be get width and get height. I believe that should work. I don't know why my nose is so itchy today. It's not good. Very annoying. But I think this should work, right? Now, I guess what we could do is possibly... I'm thinking, like, if it's selected... I guess if it's selected, then... Interesting. How do we want to do this? Well, if it's selected, then we want to change the actual UV position. Now, draw GUI texture doesn't handle that, though. How does this work? Does it just use 0 for the UV? Draw sprite? Draw textured quad? Yes. That's not ideal. So, right, because the way that vanilla works is it has different textures for the different... Ah, I see. So what we should have a map of an overflow method to a button texture. And then what we do in here is we'll say string path is going to be equal to this, right? So then we'll say a new button textures. So it wants the first one, which is just kind of the normal one, right? So that's just going to be industria.id of path plus .png. Then it's going to want which one? The focused one? No, what's the other one? Yeah, this one, the disabled one. So that's going to be industria.id of path plus _ disabled.png. And then we want the enabled focused one. So I'm going to call that industria.id path plus underscore focused. And then finally, I'm going to say industria.id of path plus underscore disabled focused. Is that the right one? Yes. Because that needs another. I think that should work. So then what we can do is just say we need to call this, and then we need to actually call .get on that to pass in whether or not it's disabled and whether or not it's focused. Now, for whether or not it's disabled, for now, I'm just going to say true. It's always going to be enabled. And for whether or not it's focused, I'm going to say this.block entity dot get overflow method is equal to overflow method, and I'm going to make that a variable in here. So overflow method is going to be equal to this. So then I can just pass that in there. So hypothetically, what this should do is if the button is hovered, right? So if this button is hovered, or it's over this area here, that's actually not quite gonna work because I only want it to do that if it's already open, but we'll get back to that. Okay, then we're going to grab the start X and the start Y, which is going to be basically here. And we're going to say for each of the overflow methods, then we're going to get the row, which is going to be basically everything between 0 and 3. That will just be 0, and then everything between everything between 4 and 6 will be 1. Is that right? Yeah, because this is actually 0, 1, 2, and then it's 3, 4, 5. So this is actually, I don't know why I did 1, 2, 3. I'm a bit of an idiot. Yes, I am still working on the overflow thing wide. And then we draw the GUI texture. So we go into the button textures and we get that. So we're saying it's going to be enabled because we're not going to deal with that right now. And then whether or not it's focused will just be whether or not that's what the block entity has currently selected. Then what we're going to do is we're going to get the start X plus the width times the column. So the start X is here plus the column. So that'll be 0 times the width. So plus 0. And if the column is 1, that'll be 1 times the width. So it'll move to here and then blah, blah, blah. And that should be the same for the Y using the row. That's fine. I think this should all work, to be honest. The only thing to note is that this draws this GUI texture here. You know what? I'm wondering. I am wondering. Maybe. No. No. Okay. No. This is fine. This is fine. I am going to do one thing. I'm just going to call this button underscore. Okay, and then what I'm also going to do is I'm going to have a map of overflow method to an identifier. Okay, and what this will be is this will be the actual textures for the button itself. So this I'm going to call the overlay textures, which will be equal to a new hash map. Okay, and then what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to say overlay textures dot put, and I'm going to say overflow method industrial dot id textures GUI widget, and I'm going to say you know, this can be, we can still use the path here. We can say path plus underscore overlay dot png. And then what that will do basically is here, when I draw the GUI texture, I'm also going to draw that overlay on top of it. I'm going to draw GUI texture, overlay textures dot get whatever the current one is. So that's going to be block entity dot get overflow method. And then I'm going to do the X position, the Y position, the width, and height. Which should basically do what I want it to do. I think. There's only one way to find out really, and that's to actually just create the textures. So let's, I guess, do that. I already have paint.net open, don't I? So let's go ahead and do this. And I'm not going to spend ages creating like a full-blown texture for each of these, not kind of on stream. So we're going to kind of do something very quick here. What we're going to do, let's do void first. So for now, what I'm going to do for the void is I'm just going to create a red X. I know it looks shit. That's all I'm going to do. I will need place. Course main increase assets industrial textures GUI, and then I created a new folder which is widget, and then I created this as what button underscore overflow underscore void underscore overlay dot png. Okay, and then I'm going to create another one which will be 16 by 16, and this is going to be the pause one. So pause is just going to be nice and simple. I don't really know what color to go for. I guess just purple maybe. And all I'm going to do is something like this. And I guess I'll center it. Sure. I probably don't have. Oh no, that'll do. Okay, that's obviously not going to be quite centered because I think these are different sizes, but that's fine. Also button overflow underscore pause underscore obey, like that. And then we need the final one, which is going to be the spillage. I don't really know what to do spillage. I guess I'm just going to do something like this. Some kind of like somehow that's actually aligned on the X. Christ. Right, because it's, once again, it's a size thing. We'll do that then. like that. And then what I will do is I will take out the like this. I know blue is a weird color. I don't know why I did it blue, to be honest. And then I'm just going to basically fill it like this. And then I'm going to make it look like it's overflowing. I know this looks shit, okay? Sure, that'll do. That'll do. Button underscore overflow underscore overlay dot png. Okay, and then what we have to do for each of these is we have to create just the normal one, the disabled one, the focused one, and the disabled focused one. So, okay. I'm going to close these. And I'm just going to open Explorer. Okay. And I'm going to just copy these texture files. So we need to create them like what, 4 times? Okay. So, okay, this is the first copy. So what I will do for this one is I will use the overlay part. Okay. That. And like this. No, that didn't work. Why didn't that work? Windows. Huh? And then I'm just going to open these in paint.net. So let me just reopen paint.net. These ones. And plonk them in. And basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab this. I'm going to move this onto a new layer. And then basically for this background layer, my idea is, at least for now, I kind of want like what it looks like in the hotbar, you know? You know what the hotbar looks like? Well, of course. Like, kind of like that, I guess. I don't really know, to be honest. So something like this. Maybe not fully opaque because that would be a bit weird. And then basically like this. And then it looks like that. And this probably should not blend. Why does this blend? Oh, it blends because it's transparent. That's really weird. I didn't think about that. Let's do that then. Sure. Okay. Like that. I will save that. Okay. And then basically, oh, I'm going to copy this. Can I copy a layer? That maybe worked. No, it didn't. Lovely. Okay. So we'll do that. And then basically do that on this one. Okay. Save this. I will merge and save that. And then I will merge and save that. I'm going to delete these ones. And then what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use these ones for the next one. So these ones. Go. I'm going to copy. I'm going to paste. And I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to say, what was the next one? It was underscore. Is it focused or disabled? Sure, disabled will do. That works. I didn't know you could do that. Wait, what has that done? Why is it that? Why has it done that? No, don't do that. being quite weird. What? Wait, what has it done? Wait, what has it done, bro? This is village disabled. This should be... Oh, this is overflow disabled. What? I'm sorry, what the hell has happened here? I do. Okay. This is not spillage. I don't know. Okay, I see what's happened here. Okay, so this one is the void disabled. Now, what happened to the other one? The pause. Has that just gone? Gone. Has it gone? Yes, it's just gone. Okay, lovely. Thank you, Windows. Pause underscore disabled. Is that right? I think so. Maybe I should actually do this in IntelliJ. It might help. Hello? Can I? Hello? Good. So then we need focused and disabled focus. God damn it. This is... Why did I do it? I'm going to copy these. I'm going to paste. Bruh? IntelliJ doesn't let you... Oh my god. Why is this so hard? This is ridiculous. Okay. So. You can have focused underscore disabled. You can't see that because it's on that. Let's put it on this one. Disabled can't be focused, can it? I mean, no. well, yes, it could be. Hypothetically, anyways. But because when it says focused, it doesn't really mean focused. At least not in this circumstance. It means selected. Why is it done focused disabled? That's wrong, isn't it? It's disabled focused. Bruh. My god. I'm gonna lose my shit. I really am. Disabled focused. Like that. Oh, you know what? I'm not doing this. Not doing this. Okay, we're just going to stick with these ones. Okay, these ones aren't going to work, but to be honest, we're not going to try those ones anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's fine. So let's just try this then. So let's go into the GUI, into here, and add drawable child. Copilot can come back now because it might be able to do this for me. So button widget. No, not button widget.builder. We're going to do a new overflow mode button, which is going to take in this .handler.getBlockEntity, this.x plus 10, this.y plus 80. No. We're going to use this.x plus, I don't know, 40. Sure. And we'll say this.y plus 30. It doesn't really matter. We'll try it and see what happens. Oh, I just realized I've done the textures as 16 by 16, but when I'm drawing them, I'm saying it's the width and the height, which is 20 by 20. I guess I make this 16 by 16 then. Okay. Fine. Should we try it? I guess we try it, right? What's the worst thing that could happen? Have we done all this work for nothing? What do you guys think? Is it going to work? I'm not very confident. I do know we are going to have a slight issue here, because what I'm saying is if the mouse is over the bottom area, it will render it, even if you haven't hovered over the button first. So I will need to like hold a boolean in here for whether you basically hovered over the button in the last frame. So this isn't quite gonna work. It's not gonna be perfect, but it should somewhat. I also think that we're probably going to have to offset the Y position by 1, because I think this is going to overlap on the bottom pixel. But we'll see. Apart from that, I think it might work. Maybe? Oh, yikes. Okay. Why is that wrong? Surely that's not wrong. You know? Hello? Why is it? Okay, well, this has kind of worked, actually. Look. It's done what I wanted it to do. Go over that, it does that. You know? But it's not drawing it. So let's figure out why that's happening. Textures, GUI, widget, button, underscore overflow, underscore, and then the name, .png. So let's have a look. So let's go textures, GUI, widget, button, underscore, overflow, underscore, the name, .png. Am I missing something? Is that not fine? Okay, I'm actually confused because I'm not getting anything in the log. Usually when you open the screen, it will give you something in the logs, right? Say, oh, failed to bind texture. It's also not overlapping the bottom pixel, apparently, which is great. Or at least I don't think it is. Because I guess it's the X plus the height. So if it's starting at the X plus the height, then it would be the bottom. Yeah, let's look at the serialized names. So what is this? This is the name to lowercase. So basically, void pause spillage would be void pause spillage. Oh. No, that's fine. That's not fine. Okay, what we're going to do, I'm going to go to here. Okay. And I'm just going to see, because we should be able to see the static information about the... How do we see that? How do you view the static variables? Do that? Not do that? Well, you can do that. Can't do it in this. Not in this. Why is it not in this? Well, I know why it's not in this. Not it's not part of the object, but surely it should be visible. I think. But I guess not. Okay. Let's step over and let's step into, and we're going to step into .get. Okay. So this is a hash map, so we can now view the hash map. Here we go. So spillage, industria, textures, Y, widget, button. Oh, it's the overlay. We have the overlay. Button underscore overflow underscore village. This one underscore overlay dot png. Am I crazy? Guys, am I going crazy? Is that not fine? That looks perfectly fine to me. Maybe it's an issue with something else? Hmm. Okay, I'm going to try something. I'm just going to get rid of this real quick. See what it does. Okay. Right. I need to read this again. Button? Okay, no, we're going to go from the start. So, textures, GUI, widget, button, underscore, overflow, underscore. Well, we'll go spillage again, sure. Spillage dot png or underscore overlay. That's fine. Like, that's actually fine. So the issue isn't an error in the path, basically. The issue must be with draw GUI texture. It has to be. I don't know what else it could be, really. So what do you use in the screen to draw a texture? Just draw texture. I'm going to try that. So I'm going to use draw texture. Okay. And what I need to pass in then is the UV, which is going to be 0, 0. And I also do need to pass in get width and get height, which is the size of the actual texture itself, because it's not 256 by 256. Let's see what that does. So that works. Okay. Yeah, the issue must, I guess, just be with draw GUI texture. I don't know, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. But if this works, then I'm just going to do it like this. I probably have had issues with that method before, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised. If I do that, boom. One of them is wrong though, apparently. So, oh, because that's the focused one. And we don't have a texture for the focused one. So the focused one is currently void, which is correct. So hypothetically, if I click on this button, right, this should change to pause. It should. It does. And if I click on it again, it should change to spillage. It does. And if I click on it again, it should change back to void. It does. Now, if I shift click it, it should go back to spillage. It does. That's pretty cool. So now we just need it so when you click on actually one of these, it will change it to the one you click on. So that should be easy, I think. I assume there is a mouse click method or something. There is. So all we need to say is this. Yes, if it's over the selection area, like that, then we're going to get the one it's currently on. So how do we do that? Well, let's get the start X position. So if we get int start X is going to be that, and then the start Y is that. Okay, I don't want Copilot to do this for me because I want to be smart for once. So I'm going to try and be smart for once. So then we need to say Okay, the one time I want to be smart for once, I can't think. Cool. Lovely. So start X. But basically we want to get the row, right? And the column. So let's start by getting it doesn't really matter. I guess we'll get the row because that's the X and it just makes sense to get the X first. So what we can say is int row is equal start X, and if we negative get X and then say this modulus get width, I think. Oh, thank you, Ilya, for the €5 super chat. I don't have alerts set up, so there's not a fancy thing that shows up on the screen. But that is much appreciated. Thank you, Ilya, for the €5. Much appreciated. And I think basically the column is the same, right? So start Y negative get. So oh wait. Is this right? Wait. If I'm subtracting the get X, don't I need to subtract? No. Okay. It needs to be the mouse X negative the start X. Is that right? So this modulus the width, I think. Why are these a double? That's so horrendously annoying. Let's say, I'm actually just going to say int mouse X. I hate this, but I'm going to call this mouse xi is equal int mouse X, and mouse y I is equal int mouse y. I hate it, but for now, at least for the foreseeable future, this is fine. So what this, I think, should work. So if I do this negative the start y modulus the height, basically this should get me a value between 0 and 48 because they're each 16 by 16, and we know there's, at least in this case, there's 3 of them. Should row be divide? I don't think so. But possibly, because I am a bit of an idiot. But how is someone typing on Twitch? Did I somehow accidentally stream to Twitch? Oh my god, I'm streaming on Twitch. How? No, actually, how? How? I don't have it in my sources. How am I streaming on Twitch? Oh, because OBS is set to... Oh my god. Man. Ah. Okay. Good to know. Okay, what were you saying? Should row be divide? Yes, it should. I don't know why I did modulus. It should be divide, you're right. Wait, no. Wait. No, because we're not doing it like that. Because this is between 0 and 48. And we want to basically get the I don't know how to explain it, but it's modulus. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, then from this we need to somehow get the index of the ordinal of the value that we're over. So is that just the... So if index would be the row, which is the x. Wait, let me think. The x plus the column? Or am I being stupid? So, okay. No. Plus the column times 3. I also realize I've done this the wrong way around, haven't I? Have I done this the wrong way around? Wait, have I done this entire thing the wrong way around? So the row is the y, not the x. I don't know why I thought the row... The row is like row 1, row 2, row 3. Column is column 1. I've done this the wrong way around. Haven't I? So this should actually be int column is equal the... I did it right here. Int column is equal the ordinal modulus 3. Int row is equal ordinal divided by 3. Yeah, I did it right in the actual rendering, which is why it looks fine on the thing. It looks fine in the game. I just had it the wrong way around here. So that's a bit confusing. So this should be the row times 3. Or wait. Okay, let's say the row is 1. So we're on the second row. We'll say the column is 2. So for that one, we want to get 5, right? No, we want to get 4 because... Oh god, why am I getting so confused? Hello, Big Virus Boy. Welcome to the stream. I'm getting confused on the most basic math Earth has ever seen. This is the wrong way around too then, isn't it? So this should be the column. This should be the row. Okay. Then the index is what? So the index, let's say that the column is 0 and the row is 0. We don't do anything. Okay, let's say the column is 3 and the row is 0. The result should just be the column. So what that means is that this is column plus row times 3. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so then what we do, and I'm actually going to call this the ordinal because we're going to use it in an enum. We're going to say that the overflow method and the overflow method is going to be equal to overflow method got values at the ordinal. So then what we can do is if the overflow value is not equal to this .block entity .get overflow method, then what we're going to do is basically this. So we'll get the, yeah, this, exactly this actually. We'll say this .block entity. We're going to set the overflow method, which sets it on the client, and then we're going to send it to the server, which will send our packet here. which when that's handled in our main class, just we'll check real quick. That sets it in there, and then it does an update, which will sync it to the clients. So that's fine. That will work. Or at least it should work. Shall we have a look? I also am actually going to fix the thing where if we go over the bottom here, it shows up. I think that's very easy to do. I think I can just have a private boolean hovered last tick is going to be equal well, false by default, so we don't actually need to set it to anything. No, how do we do this at we kind of need like 2 booleans, unless I'm missing something, because we kind of need to know if we were hovering over either this or this last tick, but only if this was open last tick. So we need to know if this was open last tick or if we were hovering over this last tick. So I think we have to have 2 booleans unless I'm missing something. But I'm going to say hovered over the I'll just call it, what did I call it down here? Selection. Yeah, I kind of hate that, but sure. So then what we can say is in here, or actually after here. So if this, if is hovered, then this dot hovered last tick is equal true. Or I can actually just say is equal is hovered, right? Not tick. I don't know why I called it tick. Last frame. I just realized that. That kind of impact. Then we need to say this dot hovered over selection last frame is equal this dot hovered last frame or this dot hovered over selection last frame. Is that right? I think so. And then we can basically say oh god, this is a little bit confusing. Okay, no, this should only be set. Oh god. Oh, I just noticed the stream. Keep up the coding. I'd be very careful with packets, especially namespace around that and per tick. What do you mean? I think you've misread it. So I'm sending the packet in here, which is on mouse click, not on here, which is render widget. And I'm also sending it here. Yeah, so this is when the button is pressed, and then this is on mouse click. It's not yeah, not render. But thank you for your concern. Okay, I'm getting a little bit confused though here. How do we do this? This is the thing I always hate the most. Boolean logic. I hate Boolean logic. I'm so bad at it. I really need to say like this and this dot hovered over selection last frame. Right? Basically meaning that it's open, right? Use integers? What do you mean use integers? How? How can I use integers? Okay, what I could do... What I could do... no, I can't do that. Okay. What I need to know is... I need to know if I was... A, hovering over the button, right? So if I was hovering over the button during the last frame, right? Because if in that case it opens like it has now. Or in the last frame I was hovering over the button like this. And then I go down to here. In which case there needs to be another Boolean that checks if it was open in the last frame. Or wait, no. Okay, you know what I should do? I think I can do this with a single Boolean, can't I? I can do this with a single Boolean, I think. I think I can just use hovered last frame. Because basically what I can set this to is either A, it's hovered, or it was hovered last frame, and it's over that area now. Because this is basically setting it for the next frame. So if it's either A, hovered, right, so it's over the button right now, or... Yeah, I think this is fine. I think this is fine. I don't know how to explain it, but I think this is fine. So basically, if it's hovered last frame, and it's currently hovered, basically. So, this. Yeah, I meant to copy that. I failed miserably at that. But this. So basically, then what I can do is I can say this dot hovered last frame. Can I just use this dot hovered last frame? Well, it would be a frame behind, but I think it would work. Right? I think so. Maybe I'm crazy. I'm probably just crazy. I think if I do that, or I guess I could do this. But yeah, that's fine for mouse clicked, I think. For mouse clicked, that's fine. Because in this case, we want to check that the mouse is over it. Here, we just want to know if it should render it or not. So I think this is fine. But I guess the only way to find out really is to just test it. So let's test it and see what happens. It either works or it doesn't, right? So find out. And then if this works, I think I'm going to end the stream here. So we'll have a look. We'll see if it works or not. I think it'll work, but I think it will be delayed by a frame. I don't think that's really an issue, right? Like, who cares if it's delayed by a frame? It doesn't really... I mean, there's probably a way to do it without it being delayed by a frame. Don't get me wrong. But right now, I cannot think of how to do that. So if I put the mouse over it here, nothing happens. If I put the mouse here, and then, damn it. Okay. I really thought that would work. Okay, no, sometimes it works. When? When does it work? When does it work? Wait. Does it work? Oh, I think it works when I have my mouse over both of them. Yeah, because it basically works there. Hard to do, but I think that's what's happening. Or it's something to do basically with the frame delay. Yeah, I mean, basically what I could do is I could say mouse y plus 1? -1? Right? Maybe not -1. It might need to be more than that, to be honest. And I think this is a janky solution, doing it like this. Okay, like negative... Okay, what if I do... Negative... Negative get height. What does that do? Oh, that still doesn't work? Huh. I'm actually surprised. For some reason I thought that would work. Why doesn't that work? Mouse Y, here we go. Let's have a look at this real quick. So mouse Y... Oh, because it actually checks get bottom. Oh, yes. That's not right. It needs to be plus the height, basically. I want to try +1, but I don't think 1's going to work, because basically what we're trying to do here is like determine how much the player moved their mouse within a single frame. This is not how you're meant to do this. I mean, that does actually work, which is quite funny. Works. Yeah, I mean, theoretically this wouldn't work if you were able to move your mouse like from here to here, like within less than a frame. In which case, in that case, it wouldn't work. Yes, this technically works, so it's fine, right? What I do need to do is I need to say here, is because when I actually hover over this, it's meant to go over the focused one, right? Or is it not meant to do? Maybe focused one isn't what I think it is, but I think it is. So basically here, oh, because I'm setting focused to be the one that's actually selected, not the one that's like hovered. Is that what I want? I kind of want a hover texture though. But should focus just be the same texture? Because I'm using focused as selected, I think is the issue, and I don't think I really want to be doing that. Ideally, I would have a different texture for when it's hovered, but I can't do that with button texture because that's kind of not how it works. One thing we'll do. Okay, what we'll do, we're actually going to test if this works or not, right? So I'm actually going to press one, and we're going to see what happens. Okay. Index 37, out of bounds for length 3. Wow. Interesting. Let's have a look at why. So mouse X, negative the start X. Huh? No, that's fine, isn't is it not? Modulus the width. Wait, why is that wrong? This has got to be something stupid I'm doing. So the row should be 0. Negative start Y. Isn't that fine? I reckon there's an offset here that I'm not thinking about. So maybe the start Y isn't necessarily what I think it is. We can debug this, actually. Well, it's going to be hard to debug it, but I think we can debug it. So I think if I can put a breakpoint in here, that will be fine. Or yes, because this is in mouse click. This isn't render. This is mouse click. So this is fine. We can debug this. And we'll see what happens. Off the top of my head, I think that's fine. I don't see why that would be wrong. I mean, obviously it is wrong because it didn't work. But I can't think off the top of my head why that would be. I reckon there's just some kind of buffer on one of these that I'm forgetting about. So we'll have a look. Okay, so I'm going to click and then I'm going to click. So the mouse Y is at 90. So the start X is that. The start Y is 83. Okay. So the column is what? The column should be 1. No, the column should be, yes, 1. 1, because I clicked on the middle one. So the column should be 1. The column is 9. Okay. What is get width then? The width should be 16. Let's check that. Yes, because that just returns this dot width, and this dot width I have set to 16. So the mouse X, right, is 174. the start X is 149. So the mouse X, so I'm going to do 174 negative 149. 25. Okay, 25 modulus 6. Oh, modulus. Modulus. Not. Yes. It should be divide, shouldn't it? Is that it? I think so. Let's try that. Oh, that's going to crash, I think. I think that's going to crash. Yes, it is. It is going to crash. We'll try this again. I think that's fine, isn't it? Modulus is wrong, because modulus gets the remainder. And yes, the remainder would have been 9. That would, yes, that makes sense. So this should get me what I want, I believe. But we'll have a look. And then if this works, then I'm going to end the stream after that. So let's have a look. Okay, here we go. Fingers crossed, everyone. So we hover over it, and if I click, we'll run through just so we can actually double check. So start X 149, start Y, then we get the column. The column is 1, the row is 0, so that means the ordinal is 1, which is correct. So I'm actually going to continue at this point because I want to see if it works. And it did. That has now changed it to paused. Does it save that? I'm actually not sure if it saves that or not. I forgot if the block entity saves it. Shall I have a look real quick? It should do. Should we have a look? Let's save and quit. And yes, it does. So that works fine. There is only one row, right? Yeah, there is. There is only one row. But the reason I'm kind of doing it so if there was more rows, basically I'm future proofing. At least a little bit. Because hypothetically I might want something else which has more rows. If I wanted to future proof even more, I could change this times 3 to be times some value I pass into the constructor, right? Which would be like the width. And also, like, if I really wanted to future-proof this, like, made it as abstract as I could, I would actually make this I basically make this class generic. So I'd say, like, t extends enum, right? And then I would make this t, like that. And instead of doing this statically, I would make it so you pass these into the constructor, right? And then I would say, like here, for example, I would probably just pass the enum once again into the constructor. I could very probably easily abstract this to make this reusable for the future, which I will probably do at some point. Because it's kind of useful. Like, it's a somewhat useful widget, I think. And yeah, I mean, that works. If I click the button, it changes. If I click one of these, it changes. It should probably play like the button click sound when I click on one of these as well, to be honest. But oh, and yeah, also if I click like this drill button, it will make it actually drill down. If anyone hasn't seen that, I will quickly show you. I know the item mod stuff. Where's the slot gone? Where's the slot gone? Bruh? No, where has... What? Where's the slot gone? Block entity. Yeah, I know the output slots are here. Wait, is that why? Is that why it's gone? Because if I've changed slot 0 to be this one, that's probably why, actually. I didn't think about it. So, real quick, because this should be very, very simple change. If I come into add block entity inventory, this needs to be 1 plus that, I think. Oh? Really? What's happened here? So this is at index 0. Is it enabled if it's not drilling? It's not drilling. Yes, it shouldn't be drilling. Why is it drilling? What? Why is it drilling? Does it think it's drilling? Oh, it thought it was drilling. Why did it think it was drilling? Okay, anyways, if I press that and then press this button, you see it finds it, which is great. It goes way too fast. Oh look, it's found a cave. I haven't actually tested caves before. I mean I guess it works. And yeah. Wait, no way it hits the block here. Oh, it does. That's kind of crazy. Obviously the water came down after it, but crazy cool. Anyways, that's it for this stream, I think. Also, I think the rendering is... I think I've actually somehow... Oh, no, I haven't. So, I need to fix that. So, if you're not looking at the block entity, it kind of just stops rendering. I need to fix that. I don't know how you fix that in Fabric. But anyways, that is it for this stream. Oh, also, very quickly, before I go, I found out this very weird thing. Look at this. It's silent. I'm just holding right click and it's just completely silent, right? But if I click individually, it places them. But if I just hold it down, it's completely silent. I don't know if this is something I've broke or if this is a vanilla thing. I just thought I would mention that because I thought this was kind of crazy. But yeah, that is it for this stream. I don't know when I will stream next. Probably not soon, I don't imagine. I don't know. Maybe next weekend. We'll see. But yeah. That is it for this one. And I will see you in the next... Oh, got hiccups. In the next stream. Goodbye.